everybody, 650 Eve here. Welcome home to the channel. We have a very special video for you today because we have 3 of the top sport touring machines here at GP Performance and Tuning in Cleveland, Ohio. And we're going to weigh the machines and put them on the dyno to measure horsepower and torque. We have the 2023 Ducati Multistrada V4 Pikes Peak, 2024 Multistrada V4 RS, and the 2024 BMW M1000 XR. Each of these machines is using Motul 300V oil, and they have been cleaned using Motul wash and wax spray. Let's put them on the scales and see how much they weigh. And each bike is completely full of fuel. And in my opinion, that is the best way to weigh a machine, because you remove the variances and things of that nature, and we can see that they are all full of fuel. The M1000 XR weighs 497 pounds. 497 pounds full of fuel. 514 pounds for the RS. Between 537 and 538. We're gonna call it 538 for the Pikes Peak. Well, while the bikes are warming up, we're gonna check the settings to make sure that both Multistrada have the exact same settings set up for the dyno, and they're in the fastest modes. Race on the Multistrada V4 Pikes Peak. Traction control is off. That one's looking good. For the RS, it is in Race Evo. Traction control is off. And for the M1000 XR, we have it in Race Pro 3, and traction control has been shut off. So now these 3 bikes are ready to get put on the dyno. The beautiful BMW M1000 XR produced 191 horsepower and 84 foot-pounds of torque on the dyno. Next, Gary is putting the Multistrada V4 Pikes Peak on the machine. Each of these bikes will be dyno tested in 5th gear to keep everything competitive. And finally, once he's done with the Pikes Peak, it'll be time for the Multistrada V4 RS.
looking at these graphs, this will be a wild race, right?
Yeah.
So the red line is the BMW, the blue line is the Pikes Peak,
Yep.
and then the green line is the
RS.
The RS, right?
Yeah.
So down here, let me bring my cursor.
Yeah, please.
Down here, let's just run off 5,000 to 7,000. Eve, you're in the back of the pack.
Yes.
The BMW's in the middle, and the Pikes Peak is just muscling you guys across.
Yes.
All right. Then here, the BMW falls. You go to the middle. Pikes Peak is still dragging you guys down the highway.
Yeah.
And then right here, 9 to 10,000.
10,000 RPM.
Things start to change, right? Pikes Peak starts to fall off.
That's where it redlines the Pikes Peak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starts to fall off. Your bike comes in.
Yep.
And then the BMW
just soars away.
Manhandles you guys. So torque, all right. Again, the blue is the Pikes Peak, just torquing along.
Yeah.
You guys pretty much don't catch up till 94, so 9,500 RPM is when you guys start to catch up.
Yep.
And then over here, the BMW starts to muscle you guys out. Again, your bike comes in second, and the Pikes Peak is losing power, so it's actually slowing down.
Yeah.
These two, they're kind of like maintaining. They're slowing down, but they're maintaining.
Sure.
A pretty good acceleration rate.
Absolutely.
The Pikes Peak just falls in place, but the torque is there for the Pikes Peak, which is what we expected. We expected the Pikes Peak was going to be the torquier out of the bikes, and it is. It's got the biggest engine. Yeah, it's got the biggest engine. The BMW's at 84. The Pikes Peak's at 88, and the RS is at 83.
The results are in, guys. You saw it here on the dyno at GP Performance and Tuning, and now it's time to clean these machines with only Motul wash and wax spray. But very impressive results today on the dyno, I must say. Very impressive with weighing the bikes also. I mean, these are very, very different machines, but similar in a lot of ways. And wow, I know people are going to have their own opinions on this, on which bike is their favorite and how the power translates. But at the end of the day, for me, still, my favorite machine is the beautiful Multistrada V4 RS, and this is why. Because to me, it's not all about weight. The M1000 XR does weigh 497 pounds, and you saw the RS coming in at 514 pounds. Pikes Peak, the chunky little devil, 538 pounds on the weight scales today, but the horsepower and torque figures speak volumes as well. M1000 XR annihilated the GP Performance and Tuning dyno today. 191 horsepower, 84 foot-pounds of torque. Up next was the RS, 168 horsepower and 83 foot-pounds of torque. What everyone really wanted to see was how it stacks up with the Pikes Peak, which comes in at 155 horsepower and 87 foot-pounds of torque. There is just a 4 foot-pound of torque difference between the Pikes Peak and the RS. But as we saw, when we spoke to Gary and the graphs demonstrate, that is different when you lay it out and you actually run these bikes on a dyno. So of course, in typical 650E fashion, what we have to figure out next is how this applies to the filthy streets. And we will do just that real soon when I put 2 riders on these machines that match or equal my weight, and we do smackdowns on the filthy streets. So stay tuned for that, guys. And don't forget, get all of your motorcycle oil, 300V from Motul, wash and wax spray, helmet clean, all of their products, simply amazing. And if you're in the Cleveland area, in the Midwest, you want your bikes tuned, you want work done to your machines, GP Performance and Tuning is the place to be. I can sit here in this beautiful parking lot for the rest of the evening and just look at these colorful, beautiful machines. Whoever thought we'd see the day when sport touring machines are this exciting to be around? Thanks for viewing, guys. We'll catch you next time on our next installment of the Sport Tour Smackdowns.